Now for the show that's truly too hot to handle. It's The Melting Pat, and it starts right now.
You're listening to The Melting Pat. Here's your host, Pat Johnson.
Well, thank you, Jerome. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the show, The Melting Pat. Thank you so much for being here. We are back on camera for the patrons, back with a surprise. I'm not telling you what's on my head right now, but if you follow me on Twitter, at The Melting Pat, you know what it is, and you're very excited for me, so thank you. Hope you're well. Hope you're all right. My back is killing me. FYI, you're going to hear a lot of fidgeting, or if you're on the Patreon, you'll see a lot of fidgeting. I'm trying my best. I don't know. The last couple days has been rough physically. Like, otherwise, I feel okay. But, yeah, just my back is acting up. I'm not feeling too great here. But everything else is cool, man. And, well, man, ladies and gentlemen, as they say. I saw that on Twitter and said, that's great. I'm going to use that as much as I can when I address a group. So that would be you. All right. So, like I said, back on camera. Have not fixed the actual issue. So we're back in OBS. The audio might be a little weird for patrons. I'm sorry, but that's where we are. It's what I got to do. All right. So we're back doing the things. We're in Soundtrap, so we're going to have our little breaks, which is going to be it's going to be better for me going forward. So today, if you are on the Patreon, you heard a nice little bonus of a misadventure that happened to old neighbors of mine. So get on that, $5 a month, patreon.com/themeltingpat. There's also a subscribe tab at themeltingpat.com where you can sign up for both that and my free monthly newsletter. And click over to the link tree as well, so you can make some special requests. I thought about, I think I mentioned this on the show last week or 2 weeks ago, trying to get like a pay per thing for the Patreon. But then, like, Linktree takes a cut, I think. I'm trying to remember. But it's not as big of a cut into the profit as Patreon does. So I'm going to leave the Linktree where it is. So if you have a special request you'd like to make for an episode or a shout out or a song or whatever you want, check that out. It's at the website. The link is up there. And let me know, all right? You can send me a tip as well. If you'd like, you don't have to. You can buy me breakfast. That'd be great. But, yeah, they have a whole bunch of suggestions for, like, premium stuff. Like, here's what you can ask for people, I guess. And I'm like, all right, let's do that. But really, the ones I want to focus on are the special podcast episodes, because the one we did for Josh about the Pizza Hut Bigfoot pizza was really fun. So if you have a weird, like, what happened to this thing, or what do you think about this that I can dive into, pay me $10 and I'll do it. All right. So there you go. That's, I don't know. Did you need to know all that? Yeah. Why not do a little housekeeping at the top of the show? So all that said, today on the show, we have our question. Who was on your Philly sports Mount Rushmore? Thank you, Jill, for the question. Thank you, everyone, for your answers. We have a tie for the last spot. Yes, we do. The top three are locked in. We got a tie for number 4. So unless we get a tiebreaker before then, because today for me is Wednesday, we'll put up a poll on, I guess, Sunday. Because, yeah, you'll want to hear the show in case you missed out on the question or I missed reading your answer. You'd want to hear the show and make your choices. So we have that going for us. We have some fan mail that just came in this morning. So we'll get to that. We have a Pat Peeve on streaming services. And we have, I'll talk to you about the camera. Did I talk about the camera on the actual show or just on the Patreon? I don't know. I'll talk about the tech support issues I've been going through this week. How's that? But first, we have a new song from our friends Point North. They released this one, 3-4 days ago. I love this band. I actually looked at my the website there, the music from our friends, and I saw that Point North is in the lead for the number of tracks I've played by an artist. So if you'd like to get your name up on that list, higher up the chain, you let me know. But for now, you're all behind Point North. PointNorthBand.com. Find more from them. They're at Point North Band. I think that's all their socials, right? Yes. Great. Link to get the song is in the show notes. Stream it on Spotify. I got it on Bandcamp. I'll provide that link for you. And, PointNorthBand.com. The song, by the way, is not safe for work. It is called Recover. Our dear friends Point North. It's the Melting Pat.
just waiting to be saved, but nothing's ever gonna change. When will we recover? We're all just waiting for the day when no one has to die in vain anymore. We're under pressure like a tidal wave, crashing down until we break. Come on.
And there you have it, our friends Point North with their latest. It is called Recover. It's the Melting Pat, pointnorthband.com for more from them. Yes! Oh, man. That song goes so hard, and I feel like I just blew out your eardrums with my riff there. I'm sorry. My bad. Again, Recover, Point North, pointnorthband.com. Thank you, my friends. Come on the show. We have tried several times over the years to have them on the show. The timing has just never worked, and I don't know why. It just never happened. Maybe they don't want to come on the show. I don't know. Maybe that's it. Maybe they're like, nah. But I've met them twice. They seem to like me, man. No, I don't know. They're busy. I'm busy. Now I'm super busy, but they, it's fine. So, yeah, Point North, come on the show. Love to have a chat with you. It'd be great. Although now we'd have to wait to get your next song on, I guess, right? Because we just played you today. All right. Anyway, Point North, Recover, the Melting Pat. That's me. pointnorthband.com. That's them. As my teeth click together. That sounds weird, but we're good. All right. So there you go. There's your song. There's your song. There's all your stuff with that. Let's do real quick. This will only take a minute or two. So I mentioned last week, I may have mentioned at the top of the show today, my camera's not working. So that's misleading. My camera is working because I'm using it right now. And if you're on the Patreon, you can see me right now. I'm using the actual webcam. But for whatever reason, when I try to do, and I use Riverside for interviews, and I was using Zencaster for the Patreon videos for a couple of weeks because the audio in OBS is kind of wonky. And so I was like, oh, let me try Zencaster. So whatever happened when I did an update on like Wednesday or Thursday last week, it knocked out my webcam. Like it's still showing up as a source, but then it's saying we can't load the video and it's being used by another app. I'm like, well, nothing else is open, so I don't know what's going on. So I'm on with the support with Zencaster, and they're like, send us a picture of the thing. And I'm like, all right, I did that. Can you help me? And they haven't responded yet. So then I was like, oh, let me try, Microsoft's maybe, because I'm looking at, you have to give permissions to certain applications to be able to use your webcam and microphone. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. So I did that in my microphone, and I'm looking at the list for like these applications can use your camera. And Google Chrome is, for whatever reason, is not listed, and I can't figure out why. So I had a tech support person yesterday going through the whole thing, like, oh, let's try this, we'll try this, and nothing worked. So for now, we'll do OBS, and it's weird, though, because OBS has a setting called virtual camera, where you can, like, use that as your video source, but you have to run OBS and then use that as your source for another program. So instead of, USB webcam, the video source will be OBS virtual camera, and it works on websites for like through that method, but not on its own. And I don't know why. So if anybody knows, if anybody's good with tech things, or if anybody has had this issue, let me know. Because it would just, it's just, I don't know. I'd like when I do interviews, we got to be able to see each other, right? That makes things easier. So I'd really like to know what's going on here. And I'm not tech savvy enough to, as I've mentioned last week with the phone update, I'm not nowhere near tech savvy enough to figure out what's going on. So, yeah, please let me know. That would be great if we could do that, and I'd really appreciate it. All right, because it's working now. It works with OBS on its own, but for whatever reason, it does not. OBS is what I use for streaming, by the way. If you don't know, it's a recording program, chat thing. You can, well, not chat, but can record all the things. So it's working now with that. but for whatever reason, it's not working like on it. Like it can't be the source on a website by itself. And I don't know why. So also I just looked, I thought I was streaming. That would have been fun. If anybody jumped on Twitch and saw me, if anybody saw that, that might have been fun. So yeah, camera's still giving me problems, kind of. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on there. But until then, I don't know. The Patreon videos might be, the audio might be a little weird. But I don't watch them anyway. Like I don't listen to them anyway. So you'd have to let me know. I know, Pat, that's weird. We pay for this and you don't listen. Well, you don't pay for it because nobody does. And I don't have time to edit video as well. So you'll be fine. You get the raw versions. All I do is normalize the audio so you can actually hear it better. So there you go. Dynamic booster, though. Get it. If you're using a dynamic microphone, this is for nerds, and then we'll get on to the next thing. If you are using a dynamic microphone, meaning not a condenser, meaning it's going to filter out a lot of background noise, that means that your output's going to be lower. So get a booster. It's going to help you out, I promise. All right, so that's all my tech stuff for the week, I think. I hope. Well, the Pat Peeve is tech-ish, tech-like. I don't know, but we're coming up on our, hey, Soundtrap's telling me to stop. So we'll do that. This would be great if I could run ads on this show, like if people gave me money. And my show has always kind of been like this, where it's built for running ads. So, Ben, if you have any promos, I should ask Ben. I'll message him later. Ben, if you got promos for the shows on the network, Paul, if you got one, send it over. And now I have a great place to just to pop it right in. Does that work for everybody? No? All right. Is anybody even out there? I don't know. We're going to get to that again in a second, a little bit, on is anybody out there? We'll get to that. But hold on. We gotta pause. We're coming right back. All right. So I've mentioned several times on the show, and I don't know if we're going to play a sound there because we just ended and I have no idea what I was saying. Like, I don't know how I ended the little break to start this one smoothly to make it not seem like I took a break, even though I said I did. So we've mentioned on the show, I've written about it, streaming services, the new thing, and people were complaining, oh, it's just like cable. You have to get all these other things. All right, fine, whatever. My problem that I have, and the reason I bring that up is because I want to talk about streaming services. Because I saw this recently. Well, first of all, I saw that Disney, ESPN, Hulu, all those, the prices are going up. Netflix prices have gone up. I think Disney's price is going up too. And so we'll see. I mean, whatever, it's going to happen. They're going to raise their prices. That's just the nature of the thing, is they're going to make as much money as they can. Whether or not that's relative to the quality of what you're going to be seeing, or the new stuff you're going to get, or like an old show that's coming back, whether that has anything to do with the price going up. I mean, I don't know. I'm not in the business. I have no idea what the parameters are for what, hey, we need to raise prices because, and then also we're going to offer this exclusive thing, or we're going to bring back this show or whatever, right? So that's, neither here nor there, I suppose. But what I want to talk about is I saw that Disney is going to be adding a lower tier for like $5 a month with ads. And Peacock has a tier that's $5 a month with ads, I think. And Hulu's ad-supported version is like $6 or $7 a month. And I don't know if Paramount Plus has an ad-supported version that you pay for. But here's my problem. If you are getting ad revenue from the things I'm watching, why am I paying you? Why? Like, all right, so a main reason for getting a certain streaming service is for an exclusive show, right? Apparently I can't say the word exclusive on the first try. So you're getting a show that you can only see in that spot. So if you want to watch some wrestling, watch some WWE pay-per-views, you got to have Peacock. If you want to watch the new Beavis and Butthead movie, you got to have Paramount Plus. If you want to watch the new movie Prey, which our buddies on TFT Nerdcast just talked about, and I think Paul watched it as well, but Lurks Behind Podcast Hero. I don't know if he did an episode on it, and Paul, I'm sorry if you did. My brain is mush. I know that he watched it though, and I think everyone involved. I know TFT Nerdcast isn't on the network anymore, but they're still my friends. God damn it! Like that's only on Hulu, right? And if you want to watch any of the Marvel things, you got to get Disney Plus. Okay, fine. No problem with that. You know, if you're going to get it, get it. If not, then you're not going to watch the show unless you do it through other means or you go to your friend's house or whatever, right? So that's not my problem here. I understand that's just where we are in terms of like, oh, well, just like back in the day, if you wanted to watch, I don't know, Entourage or Curb Your Enthusiasm, you had to have HBO, right? Or if you wanted to watch Spartacus, you had to have Stars. Or if you wanted to watch Ray Donovan, you had to have Showtime, right? The exclusive shows on networks on premium networks is not a new thing. My problem is if I am paying you to use this service to watch this show, say I'm paying to watch, I don't know, Only Murders in the Building, which we haven't started yet. It's on Hulu. No spoilers, please. Or What We Do in the Shadows, right? Well, that's on FX, isn't it? But anyway, all right. So Only Murders in the Building. Let's use the Hulu example. So if I'm paying you to watch Only Murders in the Building, so I'm buying Hulu, why am I watching commercials? Why am I paying you if you're still going to make money off those commercials that you're running? What do you need my money for? Other than corporate greed. Let's obviously, right? So what do you need my money for if you're already getting money from the commercials you're forcing me to watch? Put it on YouTube at that point and break it up with ads, right? That's not like if I am paying you a premium, right? And in this case, a premium is if I'm paying you any monthly subscription fee at all, I expect to not have to watch commercials because what else am I paying for, right? Yeah, exclusivity, sure. But at the end of the day, if I am giving you money, it means that you don't need the ad revenue from me, a paying customer, right? So there's no reason for me to sit there and watch ads because I'm giving you money. Like I am offsetting, maybe it's not, a 1-to-1, but I'm offsetting your lack of ad revenue from my account by giving you money every month. $10, $12, whatever it is, $8. I don't think any ad-free thing is $8 a month anymore. But the point is, if you're getting money from me. And so there's no reason that I should have to also watch commercials. Like I should not have to pay you to watch commercials. That makes no sense because the money that you're getting money from, I'm a paying customer. I'm not a freeloader. Not that it's a bad thing if you watch things with ads. I have no problem with that. Do whatever you're going to do. But like a free version of your thing should exist with ads because I still want to watch my show and you have to recoup some of the money that you're not getting from me with ads. And so just throw a bunch of ad breaks in there. And if you throw enough in there, like if you have, 4 or 5 ads in a row, then people are eventually going to be like, oh man, this is so annoying. I don't want to watch this with ads anymore. I'm going to pay for the lowest tier so I can watch it commercial free whenever I want. And so if you're paying for that lowest tier, there is no reason you should be punished with commercials because you're still a paying customer. Like in terms of, and punish is the wrong word, but it also seems like the most appropriate term, right? Because if you're watching on the free version, and I don't know that a lot of these have free versions anymore because they're doing this now, but if you're watching on the free version, the trade-off is you have to watch these commercials and you can't skip them, which is fine. That's actually a fair trade because your goal as a business is to make money, right? You have to make money to produce these shows and do all these things, okay? So you either do that from monthly subscriptions, there we go. That's the exclusive and subscriptions, tough ones, man. So you do that through monthly subs or ad revenue on a free version. Now I understand you can make the money and also you're well within your company rights to do that. I'm just saying it doesn't make sense to make me pay you and then also make me sit through commercials because the trade-off for me giving you money every month should be no commercials. That's me, right? Or, no, I was going to say only have certain number of episodes before you upgrade, but that's what the free version of Peacock does, right? You can watch 1 or 2 episodes of a season of a show and then unlock the rest by paying. And then if I do that, like if I pay you to unlock more episodes of a show or a movie or whatever, imagine they did that with movies. You can watch the first 30 minutes and then you got to pay for the rest. Oh my God. I've not seen it, but it would not shock me if that happened. Not at all. Especially considering now they're doing this, where you're now paying to watch ads, which is complete to me. Like if I'm paying you, I should not have to watch commercials. That's all. That's really where I wanted to go here, is because like I saw these things come out and raising the prices again. I don't love it, but it makes sense. Like you got to make money. Like I understand that, but if I'm going to be paying you a monthly fee to watch your service, to watch shows and movies on your service, I should not, as a paying customer, have to deal with ads. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And I realize, Pat, you pay for TV and they have commercials. Yeah, I know that. But I don't pay specifically for Comedy Central or whatever. Like I don't pay them specifically so I don't have to watch ads. Like I get a whole package that includes all these things. Because if you wanted to have all those channels without ads, your monthly cost would skyrocket, right? That's what's going on with these streaming services where, like, that's kind of the point. Like, next day on, like, just keep with the Comedy Central, they have commercials for The Daily Show, right? So, you watch it on Comedy Central at 11, and then next day, Paramount Plus. And so, I've never watched it on Paramount Plus. I think it doesn't have ads. I would hope not, because if I'm paying you money, again, I should not have to watch ads. And if you're promoting it as next day on Paramount Plus, I would think that your incentive to do that, not only can you watch it the next day, like in the morning instead of at 11 o'clock at night, the incentive there should also be you're not going to have to watch commercials because it's not on a network that depends on ad revenue. It's on a streaming service that now is more dependent on subscriptions, on people paying every month. Instead of having to go out and get that revenue from companies to run their commercials, you're getting the money directly from the consumer. And if that's the case, if you're collecting monthly subscription fees from all of these consumers, you should not make them watch ads. That's all. That's me, man and woman, deities and them till men. I just think it's complete that people will have to pay for an ad-supported version of a streaming service just because, like, they don't pay, because it'll be what, $6 a month for the ad version and $10 a month for the free version. What do you really, like, $4 a month? I mean, come on. That you don't, I don't know. It bothers me because the point of one of the big selling points, as I just knocked the microphone here, sorry. One of the big selling points for me of streaming services is no commercials, right? If I wanted to watch commercials, I'd watch TV. So, I don't know. That's me. That's my thing there. That's my little spiel, my little pet peeve on there for you. It just bugs me that now you're going to have to pay. Maybe you have all along, and I've never noticed because I pay more. I on purpose pay. Actually, no, the Hulu free plan's been gone for a while, but Disney is doing a new one. So, yeah, I on purpose will pay more money to get the ad-free version because if I'm my thought process is if I'm giving you money to watch your service, like I am paying for your service, for your movies and your shows and all that stuff, I should not have to also watch commercials if you're already getting money from me, a customer. You shouldn't need that ad revenue from things that I'm watching. That's me. All right, so there you go. There's your pet peeve. We got a couple more things to go here. We got our weekly question. We got some fan mail, and then we'll be out of the show. We don't have sports this week. Well, the question is sports related, but we don't have any sports updates for you this week because, again, it's Wednesday, and we have other things. All right, so let's, on the other side of this, well, it's going to be like no time at all for you, man, because I'm just going to edit these together. But I'm going to take a drink, and then we'll come right on back and do some fan mail. Sound good? Sounds great. All right, I think we're good. We've calmed down from our streaming service, a little good and mad. We're good. I don't know that I was really mad, but it's a bunch of crap that I have to pay for commercials. That's all. All right, so we have our question. We'll get to that in a minute, but we got some fan mail just this morning, and it's something no one's really ever asked, and something I never really thought of either. So thank you for this question. This came in through the website, so I don't have a name. My bad. It said, Pat, do you notice if you get more downloads when you have guests Or can you still not track your numbers, or do you not care? Thank you for the question. Now I can track my numbers. The previous hosting site, I had no access to it. Ben did as the admin, but I did not. And I would ask every couple months just to see, like, hey, how am I doing? Just out of curiosity, not really like, oh man, I wonder if, wonder where I am now. Just vaguely, morbidly curious. Now that I can check, I really don't. I never really think of, because I've said this before. I'm going to do this show whether one person listens or 100 people listen every week. I'm going to do the same show pretty much, unless you tell me otherwise. Then I'll make some changes, which I have over the years. But I'm generally going to do the same type of show. And so overall, I don't really look at the numbers too often. I will say, like, if I look at, because when I feature a band, I tag them on all the places. And if I see that they're sharing it a lot, the posts, and I see that they're putting me in their Instagram story and they're sharing it on all their other pages, then I'll wait a day or two and go look at the numbers for that one. Like, I remember a few weeks ago, I played the band Misty Eyed, and they had a bunch of, like, they shared the post, and that post was seen by a lot of people because they shared it and to all their things. And so that led to an uptick for me. And I don't know if that was, hey, they played their song, let's check out what else is going on, or what. But do I notice if I have guests? I usually don't look. I don't really look. I never, like I said, I don't put a lot of stock in the numbers because no one is paying me based on how many downloads I get. And no one is, there's no company knocking on the door saying, hey, you need more listens or we're going to pull our ads, we're going to pull our sponsor money. No one's doing that. I don't have anyone kind of kicking me in the ass saying, hey, get the numbers up. Because the other thing is, if you look at all these, and I sign up for all these like email newsletter things, like, here's how to make your podcast better. And the big thing that a lot of them say, almost all of them, is know your audience and like promote directly to them. And that works if you're a sports podcast or a music podcast where you talk about bands and have them on and that's all you do. Or if you're a movie podcast and you talk about the new movies that are out or whatever. So, like, for example, our friend here at the network, Paul Williams, I don't know why I went with Dave Chappelle doing Howard Dean, but I don't know why I went with those pauses. But so his show is strictly horror movies, and Ben's Wilhelm podcast is movies, right? And so they have a narrow scope where they can say, okay, we know where to go with this. We know the websites that we can visit, the forums, the Reddits, the Discords, the whatever. So, like, because we talk about this one specific thing, here's how we're going to target that to people who are looking for this one specific thing. I don't do that, and I never have. And, well, the college radio shows were all, like, wrestling was a separate one, and the music was a separate one, and the talk show was a separate one, and all that. And the sports were separate. But, like, the whole point of the Melting Pat is to bring all those together so I don't have to produce 4 shows. And people, I've mentioned this before, people have said over the years, hey, you should do separate shows. You should do I want to hear just a sports show and just a retail story show or just a whatever, right? People have done that. And it's a nice thought. I understand that you want to hear things kind of compartmentalized, and that's fine. But I don't have the time or energy to do that. And so that's the whole reason that to the detriment of being able to successfully promote it, because, being able to say, like, if I just did a sports show, here we go. We talked about the baseball, the Phillies. We talked about NFL training camp. We talked about NHL COVID requirements. We talked about this. We talked about the NBA, Kevin Durant, whatever, right? Then you could promote that specifically on sports websites and you'll get more downloads, I assume. But I don't do that. And I know this, I've gone kind of off the rails for your question, but I guess what I wanted to say there is that because I don't really promote this show ever beyond my social media, and I never really have, because it's really hard to promote all the things I do on one spot. Like, it's really hard for all these people to go, okay, I want to listen to this. And you think, Pat, why don't you change your show? Because I don't want to. There you go. So I guess to get back to your question, I know I kind of took that in typical Melting Pat fashion. I took your question to an area you were not, and I hope that I somehow found an answer for you anyway. So, do you notice more downloads when you have guests? Not really. I don't notice. I know I can tell you that the episode Maggie was on is my most downloaded episode to date still, because Benji is a ratings juggernaut. So, thank you, Maggie. Thank you, Benji. We love you. I can tell you that much. But as far as noticing an uptick if I have a guest versus not, I don't check. I really don't. I could check right now if you want. Do you want me to do that? Do you want me to check? Yeah, you know what? I'll do. I will check right now. So I guess the second part of your question is yes, I can track my numbers. The first part of your question, do I notice if I get more listeners when I have a guest? No, I don't, because I don't check. Okay, so let's do this, our last week's. So yeah, actually I've had more. I do generally get more with, or at least, and this is a small sample. This is going back. This is from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 episodes. And I've had 2 guests in that time. And yeah, there have been more downloads with the guest episodes than not. So, well, no, the second one's about the same, but there was an uptick when I had one guest on versus another. So I don't know if that's, more people who are fans of that guest will listen to interviews, or more people, will see their posts or whatever. I don't know what their reach is versus one or the other. But yeah, I guess so. To answer your question, I did just now notice that I had more downloads when I had a guest, when I had a couple of guests. So there you go. To quickly answer your question after 9.5 minutes, yes, I do. I did today. But ordinarily, no, I don't check, because it doesn't, like I've said before, I'm going to do the same show unless people start saying, hey, can you start doing this and stop doing this part, or, dial this back and do more of this. I will always take your feedback into consideration for sure. But generally, I'm doing the same show, whether 100 people listen or one person listens. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Bridget. Love you. So there you go. That's your long-winded answer. As you've come to know and love with me, we'll get there. All right, so we have our question of the week, and then we're going to wrap the show, and that'll be that. All right, but thanks for the question. I appreciate it. I will always take your questions and your comments and whatnot. TheMeltingPat.com is the best way to get a hold of me, and sign up for the newsletter and stuff while you're there. All right, so I'm thirsty. We're going to take a drink, and then we're going to wrap up with a question for the week. All right, sounds great to me. To you as well? I hope so. Back in a second. So we had our question for this week. Yes, we're going to smoothly get back in here. I don't know if it's going to work out, but I'm sure it's going to be fine. So Jill actually brought this up to me last week or 2 weeks ago. She said, hey, who's on your Philly sports Mount Rushmore? And she said, because often you have like a national Mount Rushmore for athletes. But has anyone really done, I mean, I'm sure they do, but Jill said, hey, I've never really seen this debate go on. Why don't you start it with the 7 people who listen to the show, 7.5? And I said, great, sounds awesome. So I put this out to you. Who is on your Philly sports Mount Rushmore? And thank you for all of your answers, by the way. I love it. I don't know how serious all of them are. No, I shouldn't say that. I had a tough time coming up with a fourth. My first 3 were locks, which a lot of people agreed, which is good. But the fourth one, like I mentioned, we have a tie, so we'll get to it. But Glenn says Dr. J, Mike Schmidt, Bobby Clark, and Nick Foles. I don't know if Nick Foles was a joke answer, but I'll roll with it anyway. Here I will, because Nick Foles got another vote here. I will defend that selection. I didn't pick him for mine, but I will defend his selection. He was the quarterback on the field of record when the Eagles won their only Super Bowl. And so you can't ignore that, right? I'm not saying, like, overall, his career in Philadelphia, can you say it was fantastic? Maybe not. But I do think there is a reason, maybe it's a little recency bias, but I do think there is a good reason for people including him on the list. I really do, because he helped win the only Super Bowl for the team. And so you can't just ignore that, right? I'm not saying that winning a title is the be-all, end-all for this, but it also doesn't hurt. So thank you for that. Uncle Mike says swap in Bernie Perrant, and you nailed it. So Uncle Mike's picks for the record are Dr. J, Mike Schmidt, Bobby Clark, and Bernie Perrant. Bobby Clark, if you don't know, won 2 Stanley Cups with the Flyers and then was their GM for many, many years. And he was a badass. He's still alive, by the way. I didn't mean to say that he's no longer with us. As far as I know, and I did check today, he's still around. So there you go. Great pick. I like that one a lot. Bernie Perrant, solid pick as well. Great goalie for the Fly Guys. Let's see. Rich says Allen Iverson, Reggie White, Wilt Chamberlain, and Rocky. And I got a ruling from Jill on this, and she said Rocky's ineligible because they have to be real people. So as great as Rocky is, does not count for this. So we'll count Rich's 3, and Rich, if you get back to me with a 4th, we'll add it, and then we'll make the final tally there. But yeah, Iverson, Reggie White. I love the Reggie White pick, and I'm kind of bummed out that he didn't get another. Or did he? Wait. No, he didn't. So there you go. Thank you very much. Amy's mom says Brian Dawkins, Bernie Perrant, Nick Foles, ... She didn't pick a 4th, but that's okay. Another vote for Nick Foles. First one for Brian Dawkins. I actually put Brian Dawkins on mine. Dawkins there, dude. Just because he was, like, even if the team wasn't great, and I've talked about this with a couple of people on, like, certain guys on teams where even if the team wasn't great, he was a guy you had to plan for, no matter what, right? No matter what the team was doing, if they were, 5-8 and going into the game or whatever, you had to plan for a guy like Brian Dawkins. We mentioned it with Brian Urlacher, Ray Lewis, guys like that. Like, you have to game plan around this guy. And so that's why I think Brian Dawkins is a great fit. Oh, we didn't talk about Iverson. Well, actually, the next one did Iverson as well, so we'll do that. Thank you, Amy's mom. Love the picks. Again, the Nick Foles one, I'm actually okay with it. Let's see. Says Eric Lindros, Brian Dawkins, Allen Iverson, and Brett Myers. I like that, though. Brett Myers was a great piece of the Phillies teams, and they were really good. So I'm good with that. I like that. The Brian Dawkins pick, great. Eric Lindros, or Eric Lindros, as the announcer in NHL Breakaway 98 likes to say. I love that pick. Much like, Brett Myers or Brian Dawkins, a guy who was maybe not the centerpiece in the case of Brett Myers, but a key part of some really fun teams to watch over the years. So I'm good with that. And Iverson, I've talked about my Allen Iverson encounter on this show. I'm also okay with him being on this list. I'm not going to pick him, and I hope that someone else knocks him off the 4th peg here, but I'm good with that. Like, this was a guy who was the centerpiece of the Sixers when they went to the finals in 2001, 2, both? No, 2001. And you run into the Lakers at that time. You were kind of screwed either way. But, he kind of took the team, put him on his back, and made him relevant and fun for a while. Plus, those black jerseys were sick. So, yeah, I get it. I'm not putting him on my list for personal reasons, but I do get it. Thank you very much. Jason says he made one pick, and he said Chase Utley because that's who Mac would put on there. I love it. I love that. I want to add him just because Mac would do it. Hey, man, let's have a catch, right? You know the one. Only one pick. That's okay. That's all right. Danny Schmitz, our dear friend, noted Philadelphia sports fan, Julius Irving. There you go. You only need the one. Dr. J, why not? Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Our buddy Keith went to great lengths to make these decisions. And at first, I feel like Keith was just naming people from every sport because he put like 6 names at first. And I was like, no, I'm not reading a bunch of names from everybody. So you get 4 total. So Keith went with Dr. J, Mike Schmidt, Bernie Perrant, and Chuck Bednarik. I hope I said his name right. I know who he is. Played for the Eagles in the 50s and 60s. Actually, 40s, 50s, 60s, I guess, was his career spanned. He won the championship with the Eagles twice, I believe, and was one of the best. He was was he the last two-way player? Because he played center and linebacker. And some of his hits are famous or infamous. There was one where he held the guy down so the team couldn't run another play. Like he knocked the ball, disrupted the play, broke up the play, and then held the guy down so the team couldn't run another play so the Eagles could win the game, which is hilarious. And they actually now made that a penalty. You can't do that. You can't hold the player down anymore because of what Chuck Bednarik did. So I think that warrants him a spot in Philly sports lore at the very least. So there you go. And finally, from all of you, Ben says Randall Cunningham, Allen Iverson, Bobby Clark, and Mike Schmidt. I'm down with Randall. I'm good with that. What's funny, though, is that when Ben first answered the question, he just put Randall Cunningham. And so I thought, oh, man, that's so funny. Why don't we just put 4 Randall Cunninghams up there? Would that work? No? All right. Well, thank you, Ben. Thank you, everyone, for your answers. I appreciate it. Thank you, Jill, for the question. I don't know who she would pick. She didn't make any picks, actually. I should ask her. I'm going to go ask her when we're done here. My picks were Dr. J, Mike Schmidt, Bobby Clark. Those are my top 3 because they got to be in there. You know, I tried to go one from every sport, and I think the ones that I picked were the locks for most people, as we just went through. But yeah, Dr. J for sure. Michael Jack Schmidt, obviously. Bobby Clark, yes, totally. And my 4th was tough because there are a lot of choices here you could use. And I decided I was going to go with another Phillies guy, but then I decided, no, let's try to cover every major sport here. So we'll go with Brian Dawkins. And just like I said, that's a guy you had to game plan for. And I don't think you can ignore that when talking about like best athletes in Philly history, right? I really don't think you can ignore his presence and what he meant to the team. And I think that's why he makes a really good pick for this. So there you go. So that's for me. Those are my picks. And our tally here, we have Dr. J, Mike Schmidt, and Bobby Clark. Those are locks. Those are the 3. So our 4th is tied. Allen Iverson, Bernie Perrant, and Brian Dawkins. So what I'll need from you, I'll put this up on Sunday on the socials. I need you to vote. Who belongs on the Philly Sports Mount Rushmore out of Allen Iverson, Bernie Perrant, and Brian Dawkins? So we're going to have unless Rich gets back to us with a 4th because Rocky was denied, or Jason or Danny Schmitz gets back to us with more, or Amy's mom comes up with a 4th. So do all that. But as it stands now, Sunday will be a last-minute poll. Allen Iverson, Bernie Perrant, Brian Dawkins. Make your selection for the 4th member of the Philly Sports Mount Rushmore. Let me know what's going on. All right. That's all for the show. We're good. We made it out. We're good to go. And thank you for being here. I know it's a little messy. I'll get used to recording in little segments here as we go forward. I hope anyway. And maybe I don't know. I don't know that I'll go back to doing it a different way because this is really actually working out better for me. And editing wise, it's going to work for me too. So if you don't like it, then we'll figure something out, I guess. But let me know. All right, themeltingpat.com for all of my stuff. There is a network tab. Find out what's going on with all of our shows. I have not formatted it yet because I don't have time. But let me know what's going on. I'll pass it along, or you go subscribe to their shows. We're Looks Behind Podcast Zero, Wilhelm, Panels to Pixels. You know the drill. So go handle your business over there. And yeah, there's no website anymore. So now it's me. At least I don't think there is. Maybe it changed and I don't have it. It's fine. It's at themeltingpat.com. See, go check out me and then them, and we'll all be good. All right, that was messy. I tried to say too many things at once. So G-Love and Special Sauce. I don't think we're doing it today. We've been here too long. So we're gonna do my little music there. But Philadelphonic.com. Check out G-Love and Special Sauce anyway. There you go. All right, we're good. We're good. Thanks for your answers. Thanks for the question. Thank you to Point North for the tune, pointnorthband.com for all the things over there. Subscribe to all the things. Sign up for the newsletter. Sign up for the Patreon. For me, themeltingpat.com. Again, all that stuff is up there. And that is all. All right, we're good, right? Yeah, I'm hungry. This has been an 8 Boiling production. So until next time, my friends, have fun. Be safe. Thank a veteran. Wear your mask. Wash your hands. Get vaccinated and boosted when you can. And of course, don't do anything I wouldn't do. We're all good. Thank you so much for listening. I'll talk to you next week. We may have a guest. I don't know yet. I don't know if it's going to work out, but we'll try. All right? I love you. Till then, just go have fun. Okay? Stay safe. Great. You've been inside the Melting Pat. Just go. I love you. I'll talk to you. You know what? No, we're going to do it again. You've been inside the Melting Pat on the Next Level Network. Ben, I know you said we don't have to do it anymore, but it just flows better. All right? Thanks for being here, friends. Go crap open a cold one. All right, real quick before we go, a friend sent this to me and said, hey, can you throw this in as a question and see what your listeners think? And I said, absolutely. It'll be more fun if I do it this way, or just sneak it in for the real fans at the end. So here's what I want to know. Would you watch a family member's 3 kids for a week? If someone asked you, can you watch our 3 kids for 7 days, would you do it? Would you watch a family member's 3 kids for a whole week? Let me know. Leave a review or, whoa, that was a little loud. Sorry. Leave a review or a comment on any of my things and say, yes, absolutely, I would do that, or hell no, what are they thinking? How about that? Does that work? All right, great. We're good, right? We are good. Awesome. I think we're done. Let me get this out of here. Right? We still got the video? Great. All right. It's not for you. All right. Talk to you next week. See ya.